Saxon Algebra 2, Lesson 55. Greetings, students. We've got a two-parter coming up. They're both algebra. I don't know if that helps you or just annoys you, but anyway, that's what's happening. Just a reminder that we're back on our normal track this week. Usual video check-ins on whatever program you're used to checking into me on, right? You either FaceTime me or some people messenger video chat me. Fridays, anytime between noon and 3. And if you prefer, you can set an appointment to talk with me on Thursdays. I've got Micah at 1 and Abby. What am I thinking, Abby? Is it 3? Is it 2? I'm not sure exactly what time. You can just call me whenever you usually call me, though. But I can't think right now what time your time is. But just call me at your usual time. If you don't want to call me at that time, then message me and let me know, Abby, because I'm planning on talking to you then. Micah, this is Algebra 2. Sometimes I have to think about who I'm talking to, you guys. It gets a little crazy. I'm talking to Abby, Micah, and Kyle. Kyle calls me on Fridays. Abby has been calling me on Thursdays mostly, but sometimes it gets a little crazy. Micah is a Thursday at 1-er. You are locked in, sir. So I'm going to talk to you first. You and your brother kick off my review chat week. So I'm pumped for that. All right. So anyway, just check in when you normally check in. We're back to normal. I'm not at the beach anymore, although maybe I should be. I better tell you guys, I'm rambling uncontrollably today. I just finished telling the Algebra 1 boys about quotes from Princess Diana. So I cannot promise you that this will make a whole lot of sense, but it's okay. Maybe I got it all out of my system and we're going to be fine. Let's pray, right? Okay. We're going to dive right in. Advanced abstract equations. This means it's mostly letters and we're going to be shuffling things around and it's going to be harder than it used to be. I mean, we can do it. Solve for M. These are the problems that make no sense unless John tells you what to solve for. And there's alphabet soup. How do you guys feel about SpaghettiOs? Do you even know what SpaghettiOs are? I don't hear your answer. Oh, video. Why must you be so isolating? Okay. One of my brothers was obsessed with SpaghettiOs when he was a little kid, and they grossed me out because I thought they tasted like plastic, and they have just a weird slipperiness to them that doesn't seem like food should be. I don't mean to insult SpaghettiOs if you like SpaghettiOs, but when I talked about alphabet soup and the little letters, you know how they're slippery, it put me in the mind of SpaghettiOs. I thought they were cute to look at, but I did not like to eat them, so I didn't. Okay. Goodness. We have an equation here. That means we can get rid of our denominators altogether. If it's an expression, we have to live with our denominators. We can't make them go away. But when we have equal signs, that means we have an equation. I know. That's why I'm here, you guys, is to help you over the really big hurdles. When we have an equal sign, that means it's an equation. Take that to the bank. That's an insider pro tip that you only get from math classes with me. So be thankful. You're in the right place at the right time. Okay, so this tells us we can eliminate. So what we have to do is we have to find the LCM, the least common multiple, and it's nice and cute in this one. I'm going to call it XM. I'm just going to leave it in this order, although MX would be fine too. Now, what we have to do is we have to multiply each and every term by the LCM. I like to kind of write it at an angle because it reminds me of what it is I'm trying to do with that. And then what I do is I cancel the part that's already there, right? Because that cancels top to bottom, right? We can cancel things like that. And now I have to multiply whatever's left by the rest of that term. So this one is going to be M times the quantity A plus B. Sometimes I like to put parentheses around like that so that I don't get messed up. Plus XY plus, oh no, equals. Sorry, see these equal signs? You think they're tricky, but look, you guys, they're not for chimps. I got confused. It's an equal sign. K, X, M. I'm non-alphabetical. Live with me. All right, we're trying to find M. So you know what? We're going to have to do a little bit of distributing here. So AM plus bm plus xy equals kxm. All right, now we have to get all the m's on the same side. Now, what's the easiest way to do that? There really is no easy way. What I'm feeling is I'm going to bring him this way, and I'm going to bring him that way. I could just as easily move him over. It's dealer's choice. So I'm going to go am plus bm minus kxm equals minus xy. Make sense? That was my grand strategy. Now, I'm ready to factor out the m's, right? I'm not writing down the steps because we've done this before. I trust that you know. A plus b minus kx equals minus xy. And now I divide by that massive beast. Okay, that's all gone. M equals all of that. Now, that's cool. That's perfectly fine. But I don't like this minus sign right here. I don't like that. If I have to have a minus sign, I'd rather have it out here. I don't like having it up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply top and bottom by minus 1. I also know that John did this in the answer, so, you know, I just remember this problem. I've done it, oh, you know, every year for the past 20 years, so no big deal. I'm going to multiply top and bottom by minus 1 because I would like this to be positive. It's going to change some things up here, but that's okay. I don't mind. So m is equal to, now everything's changing signs, right? So that's going to be positive xy over, I'll write it as minus a minus b plus kx. And when I look at the answer in the book, I see it's all right. John just moved this kx over to the beginning. He wrote the positive term and then the two negatives, which I kind of like to do because it helps you focus in on those minuses. I think it's just a little bit easier to write, but this is perfectly fine. Okay, yay, that's the first one. We have 2 of these. No, we have 3 of these, and then we're going to switch to the part B. All right. Example 55.2. Solve for x. X marks the spot. It puts me in the pirate mode. MP. I bet you guys didn't know I had a pirate mode, did you? Mm-hmm. There's so much you don't know about me. I'm a woman of great mystery. It's probably better we leave it that way, right? Equals D. Okay, I'm just double checking my letters to make sure I don't screw this up. Yeah, this is letter C like cat. This is letter E like elephant. Okay, beautiful. So, same situation. We notice the equal sign. We say, oh, okay, it's an equation. That means we can absolutely blast these denominators away. We do that by calculating the least common multiple. It's easy still. Later it's going to get a little harder. These are still cute. The third example is going to be a little crazier. Okay, so it's C times X. That's a C. And we multiply every term by that. I'm going to put parentheses around that binomial because I don't want to lose track of that. We cross out the parts that cancel. This is over a 1, so nothing cancels. And then we multiply. MPX plus C times the quantity D plus E equals CDX. I couldn't help myself. I had to go alphabetical in these. All right, we're going for X. Which part of me thinks it would be okay to leave this undistributed, but let's go ahead and distribute. So MPX plus CD plus CE equals CDX. All right, we're solving for X. So I'm going to subtract mpx from both sides. And that kills that. CD plus CE equals CDX minus MPX. Next step, what's that you say? Oh, factor out the X term. That's exactly right. CD minus MP. This is the same. And then we divide by what's in the parentheses, and we get CD minus MP equals X. Let me check and make sure I got it right. DC plus EC over CD minus MP. That's right. I'm going to rewrite that X. I didn't write this. Let me do that so you can tell exactly what I'm doing. This X I just moved over here so you can clearly see the answer. And that's correct. Yay! All right. Ready for the hard one? I mean, those were so easy, right? Just kidding. I don't think those are easy. Solve for A. mx over y. You're doing this with me, right? I would be so sad if you were just sitting and watching me. You'd be so bored. You'd be staring out the window and thinking about everything except this, because that's what I'd be doing. So I hope you're furiously scribbling to keep up with me and thinking of what a great workout your fingers are getting. Not to mention your wrist and forearm. Okay. You can always put parentheses around your binomials if you like. All right, our least common multiple. This is why I said this one's harder. We don't just have plain letters down here. So we have to multiply them together. That is our least common multiple. It's kind of ugly. This is cuter. Because our multiplying through is going to turn into a nightmare, isn't it? All right, so let's write it above each one. Y times the quantity A plus B. I know I'm writing in my other problem. I'm sorry. All right, we scribble out. This one makes me happy because you can just cross out that whole nightmare. And that, it all stays. Okay, now sometimes students get confused about how do you write this. MX are on the outside, A plus B are on the inside. Plus DY is all that's left, equals PY are on the outside, A plus B are on the inside. Don't worry about this. It's not harder than you think. It's easy. All right, now we're going to have to distribute in two places, and look at the crazy words. Mixa plus mixba plus die equals pia plus pib. How does that look? Messy, right? Okay, we are solving for A's. So here's an A, here's an A. Wow, we've got a lot of changing around to do, don't we? How should we do it? Let's leave him here. We'll bring this one over here, and so she, I don't know why, I'm pretty sure that's a girl. She'll come over here, and these two will go over there. All right, so I'm just going to write it. I'm not going to show all the steps. You know that changing sides means that you change signs. So, mixa minus pia equals I'll start with this one, PYB, pib, minus mixba minus die. All right, I'll factor out the A, mx minus py, and then I'll divide. I'm shorthanding my work here because I'm running out of space and I don't want to make it too cluttery. So I just am leaving this. I factored out the A, then I'm dividing by that. Mx minus py. Let's see if this is what John got. Pyb minus mxb minus dy over mx minus py. We even got the letters in order. Wow, John. There it is. And I'm going to write a equals out here so that my answer's crystal clear, if you can call that crystal clear. All right, so that's what made it harder. Our least common multiple had a binomial in it, and that just makes it messier and longer. So I hope you could see that. It got a little crowded down there. But we just have to be patient and do the distributions. That's really the drama that binomial causes, is lots more distributions. All right. We just have one more problem. Is that right? Yeah, we just have one more problem. It's in the second part. It's still algebra. You know how John almost always flips a little geometry at us when he has this part B or whatever? But this one isn't. It's about word problems, grown. I like word problems, but I know that most students consider them the devil, and I understand why. Word problems that lead to quadratic equations. Lord have mercy. You ready? There's only one. You'll survive. I promise. I mean, that's not really something I can promise, is it? But I'm pretty sure you'll survive. The math won't kill you, right? If you choose to hurl yourself off the building, I mean, I hope you don't, but that would be your call. But I will promise you the math will not kill you. Find 3 consecutive integers such that blah, 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 blah. Let's write down the consecutive integer thing first. It's not odds or even. It's just consecutive integers. So it's n plus 1, n plus 2. This is the first. This is the second. This is the third. I've been going way too fast this lesson, haven't I? I'm sorry. I'll breathe for a minute and give you a chance to catch up. All right, now I'm going to read the long, confusing part that tells us how to multiply everything together. And I'll write that. I'll read it once, and then I'll read it again and write it as I read it. Okay, ready? The product of the first and the third is 4 greater than 4 times the second. Oh, I'm confused. Let's go slow. Ready? The product of the first and the third. Product means multiplying. So n times n plus 2 is greater than, I'm ignoring the number, but it's greater than 4 times the second. Right? So the product of the first and the third is greater than 4 times the second. The amount that it's greater is the number 4. So this is the bigger side. So let's add 4 there. And now I can make an equal sign. Make sense? Those are hard. That's hard to figure out. If you're feeling comfortable with that, high fives. All right, now we have to solve this, right? So we are going to start with just some distributions. That's NBD, like so. But we can quickly see the drama. Look what happened. We got an n squared plus 2n equals 4n plus 4 plus 4. Okay. Let's push everything to the left and see what we've got. So we're going to subtract 4n from both sides. And then we're going to subtract 8. All right, that will clean everything out over here because that's the positive 8. Okay, so then we'll have n squared minus 2n minus 8, right? Because positive 2, negative 4. And then that all is equal to 0. This is what makes this problem unique. We haven't had this drama before where we've created a quadratic equation. But here's the good news. You already know how to solve those. You've just never created one in a word problem before, or at least not with me. You may have a mysterious math life that I know nothing about. It's entirely likely, and I wouldn't blame you if you did, but with me and John, this is the first time this has ever happened. But we know how to solve these. So what we do is say, first of all, let's pray that we can solve it by inspection, and we don't have to either complete the square or drag the man-eating dragon out of his cave. So let's just look. Can we think of any two numbers that multiply to -8 and add to -2? Praise the Lord. I can. Think for a minute and see if you can. Did you get the same as me? Yay! So what that means, and we know that if these two things multiply together to equal 0, that either this is equal to 0 or that is equal to 0. We can shortcut this process by saying, we can solve those little algebraic tidbits, or we can say n equals 4 and -2, right? The sign is going to change because when we set that equal to 0, we'll swim it over, blah, 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 you know this. So we have two different possible sets of numbers. The numbers are either 4, 5, and 6, or -2, -1. Be careful, notice we're adding 1, and 0. So those, and I want to show them as an ordered triple. Which, does John do that? No, he doesn't. He just writes the numbers. But 4, 5, 6, -2, -1, 0. Yay, that's right. Okay, so we actually have two sets of numbers that will meet that criteria. Are you happy? I hope you're happy. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Lesson 55 is now complete. Lesson 56, I'm peeking ahead to give you a spoiler. Lesson 56 is some fun geometry. I'll see you in a few minutes and we'll do that. That's painless, don't worry. Bye.